In a pivotal moment for the burgeoning satellite internet industry, Amazon has officially launched its first batch of 27 low-orbiting communication satellites into space. This event marks a significant step forward for Project Kuiper, Amazon's ambitious plan to deliver high-speed, low-latency broadband internet access to millions of customers around the world. But it also highlights how far behind Amazon is to catch up with Elon Musk's Starlink network. So, what does the satellite launch mean? How is Project Kuiper going to work? And how difficult will it be for Amazon to compete against Starlink? Let's find out in today's episode. In the heart of Florida, amidst the historic backdrop of Cape Canaveral, there was a moment of excitement and achievement on Friday as an Atlas V rocket soared into the sky, carrying 27 precious payloads on board. The mission: deliver Amazon's first batch of Project Kuiper satellites into low Earth orbit. As spectators watched with bated breath, the United Launch Alliance Atlas V rocket successfully lifted off from Space Launch Complex 41 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station at precisely 12:29 p.m. Eastern Time. This marked the beginning of an extraordinary journey for both the rocket and its invaluable cargo. The significance of this mission was not lost on those gathered at the launch site. After all, this was no ordinary payload. On board were 27 cutting-edge low Earth orbit communications satellites that are crucial to Project Kuiper, an ambitious undertaking by Amazon to revolutionize broadband internet access. These satellites, equipped with advanced technology, hold the promise of delivering high-speed, low-latency internet to millions of customers worldwide, particularly those in underserved rural areas or regions where traditional internet infrastructure is limited. As the Atlas V rocket ascended through the sky, it carried with it the hopes and expectations of a world that yearns for greater connectivity and access to the vast expanse of the Internet. The successful launch of these satellites represents a giant leap forward for Project Kuiper and Amazon's broader ambitions in the realm of space exploration and technology. It also signifies the growing importance of low Earth orbit communications as a key driver of innovation and progress in the 21st century. The road to this momentous launch has been one of meticulous planning, rigorous testing, and relentless dedication from countless individuals who have poured their expertise and passion into making Project Kuiper a reality. Now, as these satellites begin their journey into the vast expanse of space, we can look forward to the transformative potential they hold for global connectivity and the exciting possibilities that lie ahead for Amazon's ambitious satellite venture. But let's get back to our question about how big of a head start does Starlink have against Project Kuiper? In short, Starlink has a big lead over Project Kuiper. It's already providing service to customers in more than 40 countries and is aiming to serve 500 million people by 2027. Starlink currently has more than 3,500 active satellites in operation and is licensed to deploy tens of thousands more. Let's take a deeper look into the two projects and see how they compare. First off, the obvious difference between them is the parent company. Starlink is owned by SpaceX, which is known for its innovative work in rocket technology and space travel. Amazon owns Project Kuiper, which relies on tried-and-true methods of rocket science. Both companies are led by famous billionaires. Elon Musk runs SpaceX, while Jeff Bezos is in charge of Project Kuiper. They are very different leaders with different styles and approaches, which impacts how their companies operate and compete. The two projects have different plans for how they want to provide internet access. Starlink uses a network of satellites that orbit close to the Earth to beam internet signals to special dishes installed on customers' properties. Project Kuiper, on the other hand, is focused on putting bigger satellites higher above the ground to cover more area at once. Each system has pros and cons, and the long-term success of each will depend on how well they work in real life. What sets them apart is how fast they work. Starlink claims that its typical download speeds range from 100 megabits per second to 200 megabits per second, with a latency of about 20 milliseconds. This speed should be enough for most day-to-day tasks like streaming and online gaming. On the other hand, Project Kuiper hasn't released detailed information about the speed and latency of its network. However, reports suggest that it aims to offer similar speeds to Starlink, which means that Project Kuiper will likely need to perform well to remain competitive. Now let's talk about how much the services will cost. Starlink charges customers a monthly fee of $100 for its basic service, which includes hardware and installation. In addition, there may be one-time costs for additional equipment or upgrades. Project Kuiper hasn't announced its prices yet, but analysts estimate that it will be priced similarly to Starlink, since both companies want to appeal to a wide range of customers. Starlink's main strength is its large workforce. As of May 2023, SpaceX had about 13,000 employees working on various projects, including Starlink. This large and skilled workforce allows SpaceX to quickly develop and launch new technologies, such as its reusable rockets and satellites. Starlink also benefits from having a strong financial position, which means it has the resources to invest in research and development, hire top talent, and acquire other companies that can help it grow. Despite these strengths, Starlink also faces challenges that could affect its future. For example, it has to deal with regulatory issues related to its satellite operations and ensure the safety and sustainability of its growing network. Additionally, Starlink must manage the risks associated with space travel, such as collisions with debris and the effects of extreme environments on its hardware. Moving on to Project Kuiper, Amazon has set aside $10 billion specifically for this project. This is a clear indication of the company's commitment to making Project Kuiper a success. However, there's a twist to this story. Amazon isn't directly involved in launching these satellites. Instead, the company is relying on another rocket, the Atlas V, to do the job for them. This rocket is built by a company called ULA, which stands for United Launch Alliance. Interestingly, ULA is a partnership between two aerospace giants, Boeing and Lockheed Martin. To understand this further, let's look at the history of the companies involved. Boeing is one of the largest aerospace companies in the world. It's been around for over 100 years and is famous for building airplanes and rockets. Lockheed Martin is another giant in the industry with a history of developing advanced technologies for the military and space exploration. Together, they formed ULA in 2006 to build and launch rockets for space missions. Now here's the interesting part. Blue Origin, which is owned by Jeff Bezos, competes with both Boeing and Lockheed Martin. In fact, Blue Origin is trying to create its own rocket, called the New Glenn. You might be wondering, how can Jeff Bezos put his money where his mouth is when he's supposed to be competing against these companies? Well, here's the thing. The aerospace industry works in a unique way. Sometimes companies have to work together to achieve common goals, even if they are rivals in other areas. In the case of Project Kuiper, Amazon needs ULA and its rocket to launch its satellites. Even though Blue Origin is trying to make its own rocket, it's not ready yet. So Amazon has decided to support ULA and the Atlas V rocket. This shows that even rivals can cooperate when it makes sense for their business. By choosing ULA, Amazon is ensuring that its satellites will be delivered to space on time and on budget. It's a smart business decision that allows Project Kuiper to focus on developing its network without worrying about the complexities of rocket building. However, for Project Kuiper to truly succeed, it must overcome several challenges. One major hurdle is dealing with the harsh environment of space. Satellites are exposed to extreme temperatures, radiation, and mechanical stress. which can affect their performance and lifespan. To address this, Project Kuiper's team must design satellites that can withstand these conditions and function reliably for extended periods. Another challenge is the complexity of operating a global network of satellites. Project Kuiper will require sophisticated ground stations, control systems, and user terminals to handle a massive amount of data traffic. The company must ensure seamless connectivity and data transfer between satellites and users while maintaining high levels of performance and security. Moreover, Project Kuiper will face competition from established players in the satellite internet market, including SpaceX's Starlink. Starlink already has a first-mover advantage with a large network of satellites in operation and a growing customer base. Project Kuiper will need to offer competitive services and pricing to attract customers and differentiate itself in the market. Additionally, Project Kuiper must address regulatory and licensing requirements for operating in the telecommunications and space industries. The company will need to obtain necessary approvals and comply with international regulations to ensure safe and efficient satellite operations. Finally, Project Kuiper will need to manage the financial costs associated with developing and maintaining its satellite network. The initial investment and ongoing expenses for manufacturing, launching, and operating satellites can be substantial. Project Kuiper will need to secure funding and manage its finances effectively to ensure long-term sustainability and profitability. Overcoming these challenges will require a combination of technical expertise, financial resources, and operational efficiency. Project Kuiper's success will depend on its ability to innovate, adapt, and collaborate with industry partners to deliver high-quality services that meet the evolving needs of its customers. If you found this video helpful, please let us know in the comments below. Your feedback is important to us and helps us make better videos for you. Thank you for watching. See you next time.